Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. I'm going to call this video Do-It-Yourself Tiny Off-Grid Workshop. I'm changing the names of my videos every time. I'll tell you why later on. But if you want to find them in some kind of an order, this is the third video in a playlist that I'm calling Guided Building of a Faux Cut. Faux cut is what I really call these things. In any case, you've located the place, you've oriented the building, you've established it as square, although you can revisit that when you're done with what you're going to do now. Now you need to establish level. You need to make it level. And as you're coming up, you need to reach level as soon as possible. Now you should do virtually no digging at all. The most digging you should do really could be done with a claw end of a straight claw hammer. Just to get the block to sit level. The concrete block itself by itself to sit level. Scrape out of the high spot, scrape your spoil into the low spot, and get it level. And that you should probably try to get pretty well. Another thing you could do is just set it down and put stones or even sometimes a bucket of 2B, it's called around here, gravel there, just to make sure that it's just level, especially if you're going to stack them. So as soon as possible, you should get it level. And the individual components. Now, if you're using a pile of stones, which would work fine too, just rubble stones to set your faux cut on, that would work fine too. But I haven't done that yet. I've used concrete blocks. I say establish it as soon as possible, but you need to keep in mind that masonry has to be first. You don't put masonry on wood after you've got masonry against the ground. Then you can put wood, you can put blocks, as I'll tell you. Now, concrete blocks, you're going to need 12. You're going to need 12 as a minimum. If your place were perfectly level already, you'd still need 12. And they cost about $2 a piece. I get mine for $1 a piece because I can get seconds. They come as 6 by 8, they come in various sizes. Now, if you get 8 by 8 blocks, which is not what I'd recommend, because you don't have any option except 7.5 and then 15.5 is how long they are. A 6 by 8 is going to give you 5.5, 7.5, and 15.5, depending on which way you set them, whether the core is this way or the core is this way. And they'll be strong enough either way, trust me, they will. And they don't have to be solids. They could be. If you had solids, they can be cored blocks. Solids are going to cost a little bit more. You can get 4 by 8s. That would give you a 3.5 increment to come up to level. 10 by 8 is what I would recommend for a starter anyway, and that would give you a 9.5, and the rest is true. I'm going to erase this stuff because I'm afraid I'm going to get mixed up here. So it's going to take you 24. There are 12 points for the loading that's going to come down through the building. 12 of them at $2 a piece, $24 per rise, I'm calling it. By rise, I mean how high are you going to make this off the ground? If it's better than have it very, very low, I would say make it a dirt floor. That would be better than, say, just laying pellets on the ground, because you're going to get mice under there. And if you get mice there, you're going to get snakes. And it's just not going to be clean. So you want it either, if it's a dirt floor, chickens will clean it. But if it's too low, you got that problem. So I would say the levels of dirt, that's okay. A cat level, if a cat can get under there, you're probably all right. Guinea pigs, rabbits, if you're going to have them under there as well. There would be a chicken level, which would be like another course of blocks high. Goat level, goats can crawl in something pretty low for shelter, and a pig level. Although pigs, they would go under there, and they would keep it clean. All of these animals are going to basically keep it clean, but pigs are so strong they might be able to. A pig could heave up, maybe not the whole faux cut, but you wouldn't want a grown pig underneath there, I don't think. Now, once you've gotten close, you can go to bricks. That'll give you about that much, 2.5 inches, I think, if you've got any bricks around, or hardwood scrap. That'll give you 1 inch, and you can stack those blocks up or even a half inch. From pallets, when you saw the slats, and I'll explain it, sawing pallets is really hard to do, and I do as little of it as possible. But when you do it, you get thin, you get half-inch pieces, and then you can get down to shingles if you're going to be that careful. But this process tends to be forgiving in the way I'm building this. For one thing, if the ground is the heavier, if there's a high spot and the ground is reasonably soft, it's going to be pressed down in. So in a sense, this floating foundation will press itself into level. Well, I'm going to give a drawing here, so I'm going to cut at this point. See you in a minute. Okay, this can be very brief. There are the 12 points that need you have to get them level. The highest point, figure out with your straight edge or your level, where is the highest point. Let's just imagine it is here as the ground lays. Use that as your reference. Lay a block down, the thinnest block, not your biggest block, because you're going to be bringing the rest up to that level. And then just start leveling out that way and that way. Work your way around. And if you've gone the whole way around and it's still level, you've got it. And you should be as accurate as you can with this. After, to get that final adjustment, you can remember you can use wooden blocks to get the final part. I think that's all I have to say. Bye for now.